Okay, so it's a payoff table. We have a situation where a company is wondering how many bags of cement should they produce, how many bags of cement should they supply, vis-a-vis demand, which is fluctuating here. So you can see that during good weather, the demand is going to be very high because, of course, when weather is good, we expect here to have a lot of building and construction, of course, going on. Average weather, 280,000 bags demanded. Poor weather, we have 200,000 bags. Each bag of cement sells for 9 bob and it costs 4 bob to make. If cement is unsold at the end of the year, it has to be disposed of at a cost of 0.5 per bag. Cement company has decided to produce at one of the 3 levels of production to match forecast demand. It now has to decide which level of cement production to select. So they want me to do something very simple. They want me to construct a payoff table. They want me to construct a payoff table. So then what will I be able to do to be able to construct this payoff table? It's quite a straightforward thing. It's a straightforward thing. What I would need to do is to come here and have a big table with me here, is to come and do a big table for purposes of ensuring that everybody will be able to see. Of course, yours doesn't have to be as big as mine. So we have here on this axis, we normally do what here on this axis, we normally put alternatives, the alternatives. On this other axis here, we normally put what we call the states of who? The states of nature. What we call the states of nature. So remember, states of nature, ladies and gentlemen, are basically those events which are uncontrollable, things that you don't have a say over, which you cannot influence, you as an investor. Listen, if, for example, I'm a farmer in, say, Narok, I happen to be having 10 acres of land at Narok. So in these 10 acres of land that I own there, I can decide to plant maize or beans. So maize or beans automatically becomes my alternatives options. I have powers over that. I can say this year, I'm going to do my total land, I'm going to do pure maize stand. Maize. Some year I can decide to do beans. I can even decide to mix them up. So those are my options, which I have control over, which I'm in control of. How about something like there being rain or no rain? There being rain or no rain? Rain or no rain? You see, rain stroke no rain, those are actions of God. For me, the very best thing I can do as an investor is to pray for rain to be there. But I've got no powers over rain. So rain, no rain becomes what here? Very good examples of states of who? States of nature. In our case that we have here, the states of nature here will be the demand. Because you know, as an investor, fine, you can produce, but how many students, for example, will I have enrolling for my program here? I can do the very best advertisements that I have. I can bring in very serious marketers, but the demand that will come for my courses here is purely an act of God. So demand becomes automatically here demand. Demand becomes a state of who? A state of nature, a state of nature. The demand levels will be our states of nature. So are you able to see those demand figures? Are you able to see the demand figures? Yes. They've told us here the demand. The demand are here, the demand number of bags. We have 350, 280, 300. 350, we have 280, 350, 280, and then we have lastly 200. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to listen and listen to me very carefully. So at the other side of the coin is the investor. So the investor is thinking about, how many bags of cement should he? How many bags of cement should he? How many bags of cement should he? How many bags of cement should he produce? How many bags of cement should he produce? How many bags of cement should he produce? That is what this company or gentleman on the other side of the coin is thinking about. How many bags of cement? How many bags of cement should he produce? Remove Jamie like that. Okay. Now listen. Remember, demand and supply must match. What I'm going to supply is within my powers. So the alternatives here will be the supply figures. The alternative here will be the supply figures, the supplies. So the supply and the demand must always match. So the same figures that I have there are the same figures that I'll have down here: 350, 280, 200. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have my 9 cells here. Are they 9? Yes, I have my 9 cells here. And in these 9 cells of mine, what they would want me to do is something very simple. They would want me to do a scenario analysis and give them the profits which we're going to earn. Give them the profits that we shall be earning. The profits, of course, will now constitute what we call our payoff table. Our payoff table. So I would want a good student to interpret this for me, this cell. In this cell, what is happening? 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 In this cell, what is going to happen is that we shall be supplying 350. And how many are demanded on the other side of the coin? 350. So perfect match. So whatever I supply, I will be able to get a market for the same. So in short here, I'm going to supply 350. So then my revenue, if you can remember from your QA, quantitative analysis, my revenue will be price times what here? Price times quantity. Revenue will be price times quantity. Yes. Helen is saying sauti yangu iko sawa sana, Helen. Can't see. That it must be a problem from your side. Are you able to see Mwalimu? Are you able to see my boat? Yes. Great. So it must be a problem from the student side. So you are right here. We are going to produce 350 and 350 units are being demanded. So as such, we're going to sell 350. And when we sell 350, then to get revenue will be price times quantity. So here you are the ones who have told me that Mwalimu, the quantity is 350. And fortunately, in the question, they have given me the price per cement. They have given me the price per cement, per bag of cement. They have told me these guys are crazily good. They're very good. They've told me that each bag of cement sells for 9 bob and the costs 4 bob. Very good. So I'll take 350 times 9. 350 times 9. I will take 350 times 9 here minus the total cost, which will be 350. Each bag I'm being told is 4 shillings. It's 4 shillings. So could you kindly then give me the profit that you're going to get here? Give me the profit that you shall get there. Give me the profit that you shall get here. 350 times 9 minus 350 times 4. 1750. Thank you very much. 1750. 1750. Now, how about this second scenario as I run away from this area? I want to run away from this area. This second scenario. Who can interpret for me this second scenario? Somebody just open your eyes slightly wider. We discuss about scenario 2. We discuss about scenario 2. So scenario 2, what do we have there? Scenario 2. It's a what if analysis. Demand is 280. Thank you very much, Ruth. But how many are we supplying? How many are we supplying in scenario 2? In scenario 2, you're supplying 350, but the demand is smaller. The demand is smaller. So what I would want to know from you this night is if we are supplying 350 and the demand is 280, then how many bags are we going to sell? How many bags are we going to sell? How many bags of cement are we going to sell? How many bags of cement are we going to sell? We are going to sell, of course, the lower. We can't force people to buy what they don't need. So in this case here, we shall sell the lower. So we shall sell 280. So then the revenue will be 280 times 9, times 9, times 9. How about the cost? How about the cost? Will the cost be on the basis of 280 or 350 you had supplied? Yes, because remember the market is very unforgiving. You had incurred a production cost from the word go. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is our sunk cost. We had already taken 350 down there to the market, only that, so 350 times 4. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to advise us here. What will happen? What will happen to the 70? You know, there is a 70 here. There is a 70. There is a 70 there. We took down there to the market 350, but we are only able to sell 280. So 350 minus 280, there is a surplus of 70. There is a surplus of 70. What they are telling me that this surplus of 70, I'm going to dispose. I'm going to throw away. Karanja, there is nothing like that. In some questions, yes, that is what they'll tell you. But here, there is nothing like that. Here, they are telling us that this product, once in this case here, they are not sold, we shall take them to Dandora dump site. We shall be able to throw everything. We shall be able to throw everything, and they have given us a disposal cost. They have given us a disposal cost, 0.5 disposal, yes. They've told us here that cement company, no, it's here. If cement is unsold at the end of the year, it has to be disposed of at a cost of 0.5 per bag. So 0.5 per bag. So in this case here, we have 70 times 0.5. So what I'm wondering here, should I put a minus or a plus here? Should I put a minus or a plus? Should I put a minus or a plus? In short, is this disposal activity a cost on us or a revenue element? Is it cost or revenue? Is it cost or revenue? If it's revenue, then we add. If it's cost, we subtract. Is it cost or revenue? 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 There are two ways about this. Normally, what will happen, there are examiners who will tell you that in the event you are not able to sell these normally, in the event that there is no demand, what you'll do is to reduce the selling price. You reduce the selling price and perhaps just get like a revenue of 0.5 per bag. At the moment, in this case, you are able to reduce the price per bag, then you will be able to do what here, then you will be able to sell. You will be able to sell. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, that is not the case here. Here, we do not have demand for these 70 bags of cement. And if we don't have demand for these 70 bags of cement totally, what this person has told us is that we shall dispose them at our cost. It's a disposal cost. It's not a reduced price. That's a disposal cost. So if it's a disposal cost, then we should come and do what you subtract, just like the way you subtracted the production cost like that. Let's read together here. What have they told us? Let's read together here. What have they told us? What have they told us? What they have told us here is that if cement is unsold at the end of the year, it has to be disposed of, thrown away at a cost of 0.5 per bag. At a cost of 0.5 per bag. The cost of taking this cement to Dandora dump site is 0.5 per bag. Is 0.5 per bag. So it's a cost for us. We're not going to throw these bags of cement away for free. There is a cost you're going to incur. Right? So could you kindly give me this figure? What do we have here, somebody? What do we have here, somebody? What do we have here, somebody? Not a sale. It's not a sales revenue. 1085, I'm told 1085. I'm told 1085. Maybe you could try bringing out your argument and then we see whether you guys Perhaps you could be correct, you could be wrong. But trust you me, fortunately, we have the answer to this. We have the answer to this question. This is a disposal cost, not a disposal revenue at a cost of. You're going to throw away the bags of cement, but of course, you will be incurring some cost to do so. Ni kama so upeleke, for example, maembe pale kwa, upeleke maembe kwa soko. Hii maembe isiponunuliwe kioza, trust you me, hawezi ukache maembe pale useme ati it will have to cost you something to throw away, right? Right? Of course, there are two ways about that. You'll get other people wanakuambia badala uende kutupa tuuzie sumuni. So ukiwauzia sumuni, then itakuwa revenue on you. Lakini ukiamua kutupa, lazima utaambia ile lori beba, hiyo lori itakucharge cost. Itakucharge something. Now please come here and interpret this for me. Scenario number 3. Unalipia dumping expenses, yes. How about scenario number 3? How about scenario number 3? Now we move with speed. We move speed. We have quite a lot to do tonight. Scenario number 3, what are you able to see there in scenario number 3? Your demand is 200. And how many have we supplied ourselves? You can see the supply is here. You have supplied 350. Remember so far, don't tell me, but mwalimu, you sold, I don't know, 280 there. All these are options. We are doing a what-if analysis. We even don't know what will happen. So in scenario number 3, we are asking ourselves, what if we supply 350, but the demand is 200? But the demand is 200. What if we supply 350 and the demand is 200? So in that case, I can see myself in this case here selling 200 at 9, right? The cost of production still remains 350 times 4. However, this time around, there is a surplus that is going to give me too much problems. A surplus of how many bags of cement are we not able to sell? How many bags of cement are we not able to sell? We are not able to sell 150 bags of cement. It's a cost on us. And unfortunately, the cost is not too high. The cost is just 0.5. Thank you very much, Diana. Thank you very much, Faith. So then, could you kindly give me the final profit? Kindly give me the final profit. Kindly give me the final profit. Give me the final profit. Give me the final profit. And feel free to ask questions. I'm seeing somebody asking a question here. Yes, Hilda, if somebody says, examiner says it is posted by selling, then it becomes a revenue, as in we add yes, yes. So somebody tells me 325. So I would want to give you now an opportunity to analyze number 4. Please analyze number 4 for me. Please analyze number 4 for me. Analyze number 4 for me. Analyze number 4 for me. So I'm waiting to get the answers. So I'm being told that number four is 1,400. Number 4 is we can only sell what we have supplied. I like this message here that Hilda is telling us that for number 4, the supply is 280, but the demand is so high. So we can't sell what we don't have unless we are thieves. So according to Hilda, for number 4, for number four, we can only, because here we are supplied to 80 and the demand was so high, we can only always you sell the lower. Whenever you compare the demand under the supply, we always sell the lower. So in this case here, then we have here 280, and each of course will be going for 9. And the cost of supplying this will be 280 times 4. So could you kindly give me a figure? So 1400, thank you very much. Number 5, is there somebody who has an answer for number 5? Is there somebody who has, of course, this is the easiest because we have supplied to 80 and then we have 280 being demanded. Perfect match. Now listen here, at times you can get a bad examiner who will tell you that for every customer you turn away, for every customer in this case here who is disappointed, we lose like 0.6. If they are given as a scenario where we lose money, let's just try to read at the end of this. Perhaps they could give us something there. Cement companies decided to produce. There is no note about disappointed customers. But in most cases, I don't know why this SCC examiner forgot something to do with disappointed customers. Like in this case here, I would have only taken care of 280 customers. I would have chased 70 customers away with nothing. If they had given me that situation, remember that's an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is a cost you would have subtracted. So note number 5, of course, this will be 280 times 9 minus the cost of supply, which will be 280 times 4, which will end up giving us what figure somewhere there, which will end up giving us 1400. So from there we go to number 6. So number 6, what do we have there? Number 6 is a funny scenario. Number 6, I would want to see whether there is anybody who has the correct figure for number 6. Most of them are telling me 640 because for number 6, we have supplied more. 280, the demand is 200. So the smaller is the one that will be the effective sale. So the effective sale here will be 200. So 200 times what here? Times 9 minus the cost of supplying. The cost of supplying, in this case here, we have 280. 280 times 4. But remember here, we are disappointed in some way because we will perish with some items. We'll be able to have unsold items, and the unsold items are 80. The unsold bags are 80. So 8 times the cost of disposing them, which is 0.5. So I want to believe that this is what will give us what these students are giving us. There's an answer these students are giving us of 640. Please confirm that 640 is what works there. Please confirm that 640 is what works there. How about 7? 777, is there anybody who has an answer? Now I copy straight away because you've understood the concept. Because you've gotten the concept. Is there somebody who has an answer? I simply put down. So Karanja Gitonga tells me 1,000. Grace is confirming the 1,000. Ruth is getting 1,000. Thank you very much. And from what I'm seeing, all of them are telling me, Mwalimu, move on. We are comfortable with that 7. How about 8? If you're not comfortable, it's your right to tell me, Mwalimu, no. It's your right to tell me, Mwalimu, no. Please, you must show us this thing. So remember, 7, you've supplied 200, but how many are demanded? I can see a higher demand. So of course, the effective sale will be the lower. You compare demand and supply, effective sale will be the lower. So in that case here, the lower will be 200 times the 9 minus the cost of supplying, which will be 200 times what here for. There is nothing like the customers who went empty-handed. We are not being surcharged by anybody. It's a good question. I want to believe this is what they did to get 1,000. 8, I'm being told 1,000. 8, I'm being told 1,000. 9, I'm being told 960. And I can see those answers are quite overwhelming, meaning straight away that we are correct up to there. Is there anybody who would want me to repeat? No, they're saying 9 is 1,000. They're saying 9 is 1,000. 8 can't be 1,000. They're saying that 9 is 1,000. 9 is 1,000. And somebody is saying that 8 cannot be 1,000. So please, I'm waiting to hear from you. I'm waiting to hear from you. LO says 1,000. LO says 1,000, 8 and 9. Is there anybody who wants Mwalimu to do any one between 8 and 9? Is there any student who wants Mwalimu to do any evaluation of those two cells? Do 8. I do 8. Remember 8, we have supplied how many? We have supplied 200. How many are being demanded to 80? So first of all, the effective cell there will be 200. So 200 times 9 minus, of course, the cost of supplying 200. 200 times 4, like that. There is nothing, because I can see this is a situation where demand, you know, when demand is more, when demand is higher, then we shall be able to sell everything. We shall not incur the disposal cost. When demand is higher, you sell everything. The only disadvantage is that some customers will go with nothing. But do we care here? This question doesn't have a disappointment cost. So that is okay. I want to believe that this will be 1,000. This will be 1,000. And then note number 9, or rather box number 9 will also be 1,000. So are we together up to there? Are we together up to there? Please, why for yes or no, and for no? Are we together up to there? Thank you very much. Now I would want, thank you very much. So I would want us to move quite fast on this, So they want us to construct a pair of table with 9 possible outcomes. That is okay. Decide the level of cement production the company should choose based on the following decision rules. Max Mini. Who can interpret for us Max Mini? When they talk of Max Mini, what comes to your mind? When they talk of Max Mini, what comes to your mind? Jamie, you are pinning yourself here. I don't know why. Jamie, try not to pin yourself. When you pin yourself, people see 2 screens, making my whiteboard smaller, Maximum of minimums, isn't it? Maximum of minimums, yes. When we talk of Max Mini, we are looking at maximum of minimums. So Max Mini is maximum of who? Minimums. It's maximum of minimums. Basically, it is the best of the worst. Thank you very much. It is the best of the worst. It is the best of the worst. And remember, we normally begin with this bit of the worst. We begin with this bit of the worst. So you'll come and create a column here of the worst. You create a column there for the worst. So the very worst, when you look at the 3, the very worst, you take, of course, it's a profit. You take the list. So what is the worst outcome for the first row? The worst outcome for the first row, the worst that can happen. The worst amount for the first row. Which one here is the worst amount for the first row? 325. 325. How about row number 2? Row number 2, the worst is the least. The worst is the minimum. So row number 2, we have 600 what here? 640. Row number 3, what do we have there? Row number 3, what do we have there? Row number 3, 1,000. So now, ladies and gentlemen, after you get the worst of all this, then between the 3, you need to come and choose now the best of the worst. The best of the worsts. The best of the very worsts here, the very worst here, the very best among us, the worst outcomes is what here? Is 1,000. Is 1,000. So this is what we call the B of W, the BW. This is what we call the BW, best of the worst. And as such, using Max Mini, these guys here should produce how many bags of cement? Using Max Mini, they should produce 200 bags of cement. Using Max Mini, the company should supply or produce. This one here corresponds to this 200 bags. 200 bags of cement. 200 bags of cement. 200 bags of cement. So that is it. So we go to the second one, unless there is a question. Let's go to the second one. The second one is a very interesting one. The second one is a very interesting one. Maxi. Of course, in this case, if you remember maxi, that means what here? The best of the bestie. Maxi means best of the best. So best of the best, what do we have here for maxi? For maxi, what do we have here? So for maxi, we have best of the best, best of the best, best of the best, best of the best. So best of the best, please come and create a column here for best, Create a column there for best first. So the very best among us, the three, is which one here? Somebody 17? 1750. Thank you very much. So go to the second row and pick the best. Best here will be 1400, right? The very best here will be 1000. 1000. So between the three, which one will you say is the best of the best? Best of the best. Between the three, which one is the best of the best? Highest of the highest. 1750. Thank you very much. So if these people are going to use maxi, then they should be able to supply how many bags of cement? 350. If they're going to use maxi, this is the best of the best. This is the best of the best. If they're going to use maxi, then they should supply 350 bags. Then they should supply 350 bags. 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 And then lastly, they want us to advise them on the basis of an expected value. On the basis of expected value. On the basis of expected value or expected monetary value. Expected monetary value. So expected monetary value, what do you think are we going to do in this regard? What do you think shall we do in this regard? For expected value, what do you think shall we do in that regard? What do you think shall we do in that? Use probabilities, yes. Get averages, yes. So come and create a column here where you capture expected monetary value. Where you capture expected monetary value. So remember, when we go for row number one, there are three possible profits. We have 1750, we have 1085, we have 325. But remember, they have given us some probability somewhere up there. They have given us some probability somewhere up there. Yes, they gave us probabilities that we can use to be able to ascertain what here our averages. Are you able to see these probabilities for this demanded number of bags? The probabilities that are up there. We have 0.25, 0.45. So here we have 0.25, 0.45 for these. And then for 200, we have 0.3. For 200, we have 0.3 like that. For 200, we have 0.3. So then, ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, I will be able to come here and ascertain. I will be able to come here and ascertain the expected values. The expected values for supply of 350. For supply of 350, how much will I be expecting? I have this 1750. But it's not going to come that easily. It has a probability. So 1750 times 0.25, or I get this 1085 times 0.4 probability for 5, plus the last one, which is 325 times 0.3. So could you kindly give me an answer? Could you kindly give me the expected value? Should we decide to supply 350? Should we decide to supply 350, what will be the expected value? Thank you very much, Hussein. Thank you very much, Hussein. So Hilda tells me that the expected value, should we supply that, is 1023. Is 1023 point something, 1023.25. 1023.25, thank you very much. What if we decide to supply to 80 units? What if we decide to supply to 80 units? What if we decide to supply to 80 units? What will be the expected value? What will be the expected profit? What will be the expected profit? If we decide to supply if we decide to supply, so the expected value, if we decide to supply to 80 bugs, is there somebody who has been able to combine those probabilities with the profits? Ruth tells me 1172. 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 1172. So is there someone else who will be able to give me the expected value? Should we be able to sell 200 bugs? Should we be able to sell 200 bugs? What will be the expected value? Should we be able to sell 200 bugs? What will be the expected value? Should we be able to sell 200 bugs? What will be the expected value? Should we be able to sell 200 bugs? Is it not 1,000? It has to be 1,000. Thank you very much. It has to be 1,000. It has to be 1,000. So between the three expected values, remember, this is money, this is profit, these are payoff. The higher the expected value, the better off we are. So between the three expected values, which one would you recommend? Which one is the highest expected value? 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 Yeah, Gilbert tells me that the one that has the highest expected value, supply 280, right? Supply 280. So supply 280. Somebody tells me that 1172 is the highest, and therefore supply 280. Supply 280. Supply 280. Supply 280. Supply 280. Supply 280. Now, before I get out of this payoff thing, what if this examiner was to tell you to advise a client who is a risk taker? A client who is a risk taker, will you advise them using Maximini or Maximaxi? A client who is a risk taker, risk takers, we normally advise them using? Risk takers, we normally advise them using? Maximaxi. How about clients who are conservative, clients who are risk averse? The ones who are risk averse or conservative, we normally advise them using Maxi Mini. Clients who are conservative, always you advise them using Maxi Mini. If they talk about risk neutrality, risk neutral clients, we shall always advise them using what here? Expected monetary value. So what have we said? Risk takers Maximaxi. If I were you, that is what I would have written. Risk takers Maximaxi. Risk averse Maximini. Risk neutral expected monetary value. Expected monetary value, then that sorts you out immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a bright student, if you're a very bright student, of course, you must have noticed that Mwalimu here loves variances so much. Loves variances so much. And I've given you so many videos of variances, especially the planning and operating variances. Planning and operating variances, all of us, are we comfortable? Specifically, I've given you this video of pillows, I think 3 times. 3 times. True? Variances, planning and operating variances. So now as we come to what we call countdown, can we say that planning and operational variances, we are now comfortable? Planning and operational variances, we are very comfortable. Please, I expect to see a Y. Yeah. So Grace, one more. Vanessa says no. Jendro says yes. Dama says yes. Hussein says no. Veni says 80%. Not 100%. Jabir, it has to be 100%. I've given you so many videos. Aliena masikio ashajua tayari. Nimepatia video mingi sana za planning and operating variances. Planning and operating variances. One more. So if I jump to that one, because I have to look for it, I have to look for the question ya pillows. Itachukua time kidogo dakika moja. But as I do that, there is also one area you are never supposed to ignore in AMA. One area that you're not supposed to ignore at all is this area of performance appraisal. So performance appraisal, what are we looking at? Do you know how to compute ROCE? Do you know how to get residual income? Do you know something to do with balance scorecard? Do you know the Fitzgerald and Moon building blocks? Do you know how to compute ROCE? Do you know how to compute residual income? Diana Koecha ameweka mkono juu akasema woi. Have you guys not been watching the videos, Diana, have you not been watching the videos? Siko ubaya kuuliza. Have you not been watching the videos? Hakuna mastori. It's quite straightforward, Fitzgerald. Quite straightforward, very applicable at our workplaces, right? So if, for example, you are given this kind of a question, it's only one student who has come out vividly saying that mwalimu, that one we are comfortable. If you're given this kind of a question, na hii swali wamerudia mara mingi kwa kasi, najua kasi wanarudia maswali sana ya ACCA. Kama wamerudia sana mara mingi, here Brace Company is split into two divisions, A and B, each with their own cost and revenue streams. Each of the divisions is managed by a divisional manager who has the power to make all investment decisions within the division. The cost of capital for both divisions is 12%. Historically, investment decisions have been made by calculating the return on investment. ROE is also known as ROCE, return on capital employed, of any opportunities, and at present, the ROE of each division is 16%. A new manager who has recently been appointed in Division A has argued that using residual income to make investment decisions would result in better goal congruence throughout the company. Each division is currently considering the following separate investments. So we have Project A, we have Project B. The company is seeking to maximize shareholder wealth. So they want us to calculate both ROE and residual income of the new investments. And you can see they're giving you all the way up to 10 marks. CPA could even be 12 or even 14. And it's a very short question. So they want me to calculate ROE and residual income. Is there any student here who has ever seen this kind of a question in your past papers, where we have the net profit margin? Anybody with the same figures? Anybody who has ever seen this in your past papers? Yes, it is there. It is there. They normally pick these questions, and that is why if we time like 10 areas using this ACCA past papers, utaangukia mbili. Ukiona kama wanafunzi wala semester wao wakisema ura wewe ni examiner wapi? The only thing that I did ni kuangalia maswali strategic ya ACCA, right? Na wakapita sana. So mimi nimeona net profit margin. Nikiona net profit margin, we prefer working with profit. In terms of measuring our performance. We prefer working with profit. So then the very first thing we'll do is to remind ourselves the formula of net profit margin. How do we get net profit margin, you bright students of mine? Is there anybody who is able to remember the net profit margin formula? Net profit margin, basically the normal profit. So this will be profit over who? Over sales. Profit over sales. And then the next thing that I'll do is to come and make profit the subject of the formula. It will be NPM. NPM is net profit margin times the sales, which they have given us. If you make profit the subject, if you try cross multiplying, it will be NPM times what? times the sales. So then we have got two divisions. We've got two divisions. These divisions here are which ones? We have got two divisions here. These divisions here are which ones? The two divisions here are A and B. So we have division A. We have division A, the profit of A, and the profit of B. So the first thing I'll do is to pick the net profit margins. The net profit margins for the two divisions. For the two divisions are which ones? The net profit margins for the two divisions. Net profit margins for the two divisions, I can see 28 and 33. 28% and 33. 28% and 33. 28% and 33%. Times the sales of the two departments. The sales of the two departments, what do we have here? The sales of the two departments, ladies and gentlemen, the sales of the two departments, they have given us your sales 44.6, 21.8, like that. So then could you be kind enough and give me these profits? Kindly come and give me the profits. Is there anybody who can give us the profits here very fast? This percentage times the sales. So Benny gives me 12,488. 12.488. 12.488. Thank you very much. Yes, how about boy? How about boy? 7.194. Now, once you give me these profits, really, now as a performance measure, to get like now, number one, they want me to give them what we call return on investment or ROCE. So to get return on investment, this is quite a simple thing. You will take the profit that now you have divided by capital employed, times 100. So then ROI in this particular case will be the profit that we have, the profit that we have just obtained here for A. ROI for A, it will be 12.488 over the capital employed in that department. Is there anybody who is able to see the capital that is employed in this department? Is there anybody who is able to see the capital employed in this department? So capital employed in this department, is this capital required? A is 82.8. 82.8. How I wish somebody would have given me this answer as early as yesterday. As early as yesterday. So long as you're able to follow, I don't have a problem with speed. Problem is if I run very fast and then I leave you behind, that will be very unfortunate. That will be very unfortunate. Hilda tells me this is 15.08. 15.08%. How about boy? Boy. Thank you, Damaris. How about boy? 17.71. So 17.71%. Of course, in terms of the comments here, I'll be able to say that B is a better performer. Because remember, the higher the ROI, the better the performance of an entity. So ROI, just one statement there, in terms of ROI, B performed better. Thank you very much. Are we together up to there? Yes. Thank you very much. How about residual income? How do we get residual income? I really like residual income. Thank you very much, Purity. To get residual income, ladies and gentlemen, we normally take the profit that you have here minus Coca-Cola. Yes, profit minus Coca-Cola soda. Yes, minus Coca-Cola soda, where Coca-Cola soda stands for cost of capital employed. Coca-Cola soda stands for cost of capital employed. Profit minus COCA. These videos you guys had watched many times. So we have A, the profit is 12.488. These guys have given us the cost of capital. They have given us the cost of capital, the cost of capital, the cost of capital. They told us somewhere up there that the cost of capital for both divisions is 12%. Is 12%. So then it will be 12% of the capital employed. So 12% of the capital employed, 12% of the capital employed. So 12% of the capital employed for A, the capital that was employed in A. I can very vividly see it. Very vividly, I can see the capital employed in A was 82.8, was 82.8, was 82.8 like that. That is A. And then B, the profit is 7.194 minus the cost of capital is the same for both divisions, times the capital employed, times the capital employed. The capital employed for B is 40.6. So please give me an answer. Please give me an answer here. Please give me answers and tell me which one is the better performer. Vinny tells me the first one is 2.552. 2.552. How about the second one? 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 I'm waiting to hear from you. I'm waiting to 2.322. 2.322. So in terms of performance using residual income, of course, the department that posts a higher residual income is the one that performs better than the other. So in terms of residual income, we can see in this case here, it is A. It is A that performed better than who? Than B. Than B. Just simple comments there. Simple comments there. You are sorted out. You get all the 10 marks. You get all the 10 marks. You move on to other things. Look at 4A. Brace Company is an electronics company specializing in the manufacture of home audio equipment. Historically, the company has used solely financial performance measures to assess the performance of the company as a whole. The company's managing director has recently heard of the balanced scorecard approach and is keen to learn more. Required, describe the balanced scorecard approach to performance management, to performance measurement. So what will you write down to be able to describe what the balanced scorecard model of performance measurement is to this gentleman? What will you be able to write down? 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 Very good. Susan Akinyi says she will be able to write the 4 perspectives. But most importantly, remember the introduction bit of it is that the balanced scorecard, unlike the other models of measuring performance, it looks at both quantitative and the qualitative. It looks at both quantitative and the qualitative performance metrics. It looks at quantity and the qualitative performance metrics. Have you been able to write that down in form of a shorthand? Yeah. Both qualitative and what here? Quantitative. Quantitative is the money aspect. Qualitative, now we are looking at this other business side, which really does not need money. Ladies and gentlemen, unlike the other models, balanced scorecard mixes what we call the short term and the long term performance measures metrics. It mixes short term and long term performance metrics. It's among the few models that we have which encourages long-termism, which tells managers, hey, even if you are making a little bit of losses here, training your workers this time around, a trained workforce in the long term will come in handy for you. It will give you a competitive advantage in the long term. Actually, if you look at it very well, it discourages myopia. It discourages myopism. Myopism is where you are not looking beyond your nose. That is why it's only one quadrant known as financial perspective, which looks at performance in form of what, like, profitability. Profitability, when you're looking at how you're performing in form of profit, you're only looking at farthest 12 months ahead of you. You're only looking at more than 12 months. So it's only a quarter which talks of short term. In the short term, also, we need to protect our cash flows. We need to protect our profits. We need to ensure that our investments are okay in the short term. But if we want to move in the long term, we must ensure that we knock very well the innovations perspective. We must ensure that our systems are okay. We must ensure that our customer base is okay. Our customer base is okay. So once you mention that, then now you'll be able to come and talk of what here, the four perspectives, and I don't even need to explain anything there because I know that you guys are so good at that. I know that you guys are so good at that. Remember the balance scorecard, four perspectives are which ones? Four perspectives are which ones? So we have, in this regard, we have here what we call the financial perspective, very popular. Financial perspective. We have what we call the customer perspective. The customer perspective. We have, in this case here, the processes, internal processes perspective, right? And then we have learning and growth, stroke innovation perspective. But remember, for you to be able to get all the marks, now you need to do what? You have to come and explain each perspective. Yeah, you must come and explain each perspective. Under financial perspective, this is the short-term perspective, that perspective that is greedy in nature. Greedy in which sense? It only looks at one stakeholder. It is only the shareholders who are after the company posting huge profitability, because it is the only stakeholder, it's the only major stakeholder which gets a lot of their dividends out of this. So for them, they'll come and tell you, deny customers everything, steal from customers, don't even give them the right quality, don't invest in your systems, don't invest in this and this, because to them, they're looking at myopia, right? They're looking at short term. In the short term, what shall we be able to do what yet to gain? But forgetting that all these that they are doing here, the moment they want everything of this to go north, 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 north. Of course, in this case here, they must be having the other stakeholders here really sacrificing. That means that this organization will not be there in the long term. This organization will be dying in the short term, Of course, customer perspective, if you recall, here you have to score well in 4 areas. Which 4 areas are these? You must ensure that you are acquiring your customers, new customers often. You must ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that your customers are what here, or rather satisfied. You must ensure what we call loyalty. You must ensure what we call what here, awareness. Publicize whatever you're doing. Publicize whatever you're doing aggressively. Publicize whatever you're doing aggressively. Processes, ladies and gentlemen, ensure that you are automating your systems heavily. So automated systems, automate your systems heavily. Don't accept cash at your business premises. If it's employees, log in. This thing of employees coming to sign is hogwash. Let employees come and do what here? Biometric. Right? From ladies and gentlemen, we have learning and innovation. Ensure that your workers are taken to trainings, right? Ensure that you have a research and what here? Development department. ensure that you are very what here? Innovative. Remember, innovation is all about you producing at least 2 new products every year. At least 2 new products every year. This thing of saying that you would want to be known for only one product, that you would want to focus, 100% focus. Younger people will come and do exactly what you're doing in a better way, in a better way, in a better way, and you'll be left stranded. You'll be left stranded. You'll be left stranded. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe you guys are okay with this. And it's something that you guys can do more research on this. And remember, also this balance scorecard, at times they could decide to throw to you a computational question. And if I recall very well, I did 2 past paper questions for you in this area. It is something that you can even be able to retrieve a video and share with you. So I think this is okay. This is okay. Okay. So now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, if you allow Mwalimu here, Mwalimu will be able to get this question of bed. There's a good question there, which I've even shared, with you on WhatsApp, with you. Okay. Just a minute. Methods of developing budgets. Is there anybody who can recall those methods? You want to develop a budget today in your organization? Nope. Not Flexi. Nope. Yeah. So I can see somebody talking of an incremental method. I can see somebody talking of a zero-based method. Could you kindly describe for me what you understand with this incremental method? Incremental method, very fast, just one-liner statement. Incremental method, incremental method, incremental method, incremental method, incremental method. They're not talking to me. They're not talking to me. They don't know how serious these things are. It uses previous year's budget, yes. Incremental budget makes reference to the previous year to develop, in this case here, or rather it could make reference to the current year's budget to develop next year's budget with, of course, I believe that next year's budget will be more, will increase. So we must have an increasing factor. Thank you very much. Damaris tells me that ZBB develops from scratch. ZBB does not make use of any budget to develop future budgets. I like that. Zero, you start from scratch, and the proof there, you have to prove every expenditure. For you to be able to get an allowance under ZBB, you must justify every expenditure. Every expenditure has to be justified. Otherwise, we shall not give you money just for the sake. Is there anybody who has ever heard of top-down style of budgeting? Top-down style of budgeting. Top-down style of budgeting. Is there anybody who has ever heard of top-down style of budgeting? So on a top-down, we'll have a budget basically developed by the top management. And then that budget is imposed to the lower cadre employees to execute. So basically, people up there, like somebody has told us here, like this is a good student. This is a good student who tells us, this is a good student, Maris, who tells us the budget is developed by managers up there, right? Top down. So it is developed up there, but now forced on us down here to implement. Right? Where junior managers, Joyce has given us a very important statement there, that the top down, where junior managers have no knowledge of budget development, it is basically imposed on them. It's basically imposed on them, right? I like that. That is top down. And then now we have a bottom up style of budgeting. Bottom up style of budgeting. This is also known as participatory style of budgeting, right? So we begin right, ladies and gentlemen, from down, we involve everybody. So you go to the departments, ask departmental managers to do their own budgets. Those departmental managers will ask the lower level workers, what do you guys need? And then this budget goes up and up and up until it reaches the top. Of course, the top has the final say. What they'll do is to make a few changes here and there. And then, of course, even the changes they make to what had been developed by the lower managers and lower level employees, whatever changes you make there, you have to explain to them. Participatory, I like that. Great, 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 great. So Kenya style of budgeting, is it top down or bottom up? Is it top down? No, in terms of top down, bottom up. Unataka kusema siku hizi kwa county government amkwangi involved at all? Kwa county government amkwangi involved at all kweli? Juma amekataa. Hakuna public participation. Mimi naona kunakuwa na hiyo involvement siku hizi. Kunakuwa na involvement siku hizi. Hata kama wanatimiza kuna public participation which is quite, of course it's not 100% like it should have been, like it was intended to be, like at least kuna public participation. Yes, kuna public participation. Thank you very much. So I've been able to get this particular question. Okay, so this is the question. Please tell me to do another question because I've done this question severally. I've even given you a video of this, not once, not twice. Look at it, take 2 minutes, look at it, and then tell me, Mwalimu, don't do that question. That when we are comfortable with it, or rather, just send us a video after this. That is the response I would want to hear. But of course, as usual, I'm your father. Even bad responses belong to me. Oh, I did not share. Sorry for that. I hope now you're able to see my screen. Yes, pillows and bed sheets, yes. Is it a question that you guys are able to remember? Yep. A different one, yes. We do a different question. We do a different question. We do a different question. Do another question. I also support that. We do another question. We do another question. That one I've repeated severally, but please, as well, again, if you have that video, ensure that you do what here, ensure that you watch it again. Great. Thank you very much. So then I'll have to look for another one. I'll have to look for another one. And this time around, I'll just change gears straight away to, if you are keen enough, you must also realize that I'm so keen with learning curves. I'm so keen with learning curves. Could you kindly look at question number 3, my company? We are told my company produces microphones for mobile phones and operates a standard costing system before production commenced. The standard labor time per batch for its latest microphone was estimated to be 200 hours. The standard labor cost per hour is $12, and resource allocation and cost data were therefore initially prepared on this basis. Production of the microphone started in July, and the number of batches assembled and sold each month was as follows. So we have month July to November, number of batches assembled and sold, 1, 2, 4, 8. The first batch took 200 hours to make. That is A, as anticipated, but during the first 4 months of production, a learning effect of 88% was observed, although this finished at the end of October. So at the end of October, that was not there. The learning formula is shown on the formula sheet. Of course, CPA will never give you the learning formula. And the value of B has been given there. My company uses cost plus pricing to establish selling prices for all its products. Sales of its new microphone in the first 5 months have been disappointing, very disappointing. The sales manager has blamed the production department for getting the labor cost so wrong, as this in turn caused the price to be too high. The production manager has disclaimed all responsibility, saying that as usual, the managing director prepared the budgets alone and didn't consult me. And had he bothered to do so, I would have told him that a learning curve was expected. So they want us to calculate the actual total monthly labor cost for producing the microphone for each of the 5 months from July to November. Tuanze hapo jameni. Hebu tuanze hapo jameni, tuone jameni. Tuone jameni, hiyo swali mngepata marks ngapi? Here's the labor cost. Remember, a good student does not read a question forever. A good student is a proactive student. If I were you, even if I don't understand what I'm doing, I would have written straight away what A stands for, what the value of B is, written the equation by now. I will not be going to start again reading the question from up there afresh unless I've started writing something. Can I do this question? Can I do this question? Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do the question? Generous. Okay. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, getting the total labor cost for each is not a problem to me. This is something that I'll be able to do with my eyes closed. And I would want to start this way. Assuming we have got a company called Gano Bullets in Eldoret, which supplies bullets to these three entities. We have the Kenya Army, we have Kenya Air Force, and then we have, in this case here, the Kenya Navy. Then kwa Kiswahili, hawa ni wanahewa. Kenya Air Force ni wanahewa. Hawa ni wana nini? Hawa ni wana nini, Kenya Navy? Wana maji, asante sana. How about Kenya Army? So assuming that Kenya Army places an order for 500 bullets, Kenya Air Force places an order for 600 bullets, Kenya Navy places our third order of 700 bullets. We are about jeshi la wokovu pana ili ya kanisa. Assuming that the first, remember A is time taken to produce first unit. So assuming A is 10 hours, Gano will take 10 hours to make the first bullet. I'm exaggerating, right? And then B, if you remember B, which is a learning index, for learning index, what do we have? We have our formula, which is log R over log what? Over log 2. Log R over log 2. So assuming that R is 75%, could you kindly give me the value of B? Please give me the value of B. So B will be log R, which is log 0.75 over log 2. So log 0.75 over log 2, this will be minus 0.415, isn't it? So that remember the equation is y equals ax raised to power b plus 1. This is the total time learning equation. If you remember, the learning curve equation is y equals ax raised to power b plus 1. Y equals ax raised to power b plus 1. So straight away, come and give me b plus 1. So this will be minus 0.415 plus 1. Give me the power. Give me the power. 0.58. 50. Thank you. Now, having gotten that power that nicely, then what I'll do, I'll come and write down. I will come here and write down. I will come here and write down. I will come here and write down my equation now. So come and write down my equation. My equation is y equals ax raised to power b plus 1. So y will be equal to a that I've just said there is 10 hours, x raised to b plus 1, which is 0.585, like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing that I'm supposed to do in this series of mine in terms of orders will be to come and ascertain the cumulatives. Here. So the cumulatives here, listen. So cumulative number of bullets. So once I do my deliver order for Kenya Army, then I will have produced 500. Because, experience curve is out of the total produced. When I produce Air Force, I produce 600, then automatically plus the 500 I delivered earlier on, I'll talk of 1100. Right? So 1100 plus 700 gives me what figure? Somebody here? 1800. Thank you very much. 1800. Now, here, I'll come and now provide what we call the range. The range. So, of course, here, I'll start right away with bullet number what? Bullet number 1. Bullet number 1, when I start producing, I'll start with bullet number 1. I go all the way up to the total cumulative, which is 500. Now, before you start asking questions, could you kindly give me the range for this, the range for this production? The very first bullet that I'll produce in this series will be bullet number 501. 501, all the way to what, here, somebody? 501, all the way to, Karanja Getonga is telling me 501, all the way to the upper limit, to the upper cumulative value, which is 1100. Thank you very much. How about this? Remember, it will begin from immediately after this. Immediately after this. So it will begin from 1101, all the way to what, here, somebody? To 1800. To 1800. Sasa nataka unisikize vizuri sana. Nataka uangalie vizuri sana. The time, the Kenya Army time. Hebu angalie Kenya Army time. Kenya Army total time, hiyo sina shida nayo. Kenya Army total time, nitakuja nijue ni why first 500. Because hii haina predecessor ingine mbele. Ni why first 500. Kwa hivyo nitakuja hapa niseme 10 times 500, this 10 times 500, because I have an equation, raised to 0.585. Raised to 0.585. Hebu nipatie figure jameni. Ndio naweza kuwa nakusumbua kidogo, lakini utaishika sana. Usikuwe na wasiwasi. So please make sure you know how to raise. Sema 10 times 500 raised to that amount. 10 times 500 raised to that amount. Tell me what do we have there. Tell me what do we have there. Tell me what do we have there. Damaris ananiambia ni 379. Damaris ananieleza hapa ni 379. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sasa kutoka hapo, hebu tuende kwa Kenya Air Force tuone. Wanahewa. Kenya Air Force. Total time. Aya. So Kenya Air Force total time, mimi napenda sana ya Kenya Air Force. So Kenya Air Force total time nitadu nini sasa hapa? Kenya Air Force total time sasa hapa nitadu nini jameni? Hapa nitakuja niseme ni Y 541. Ndio hii hapa Kenya Air Force. All the way to 1100. Hii abracadabra, upende usipende, hii lazima kuna expand. Hii lazima kuna expand, upende usipende. Hii lazima to expand, upende usipende. So uta expand namna gani? Somebody Kenya Air Force. Thank you very much Ruth. Thank you very much Ruth. Thank you very much Ruth. Ruth amepata, amesema mwalimu, hii expand hata sio noma. Mimi najua sana expand. Hii expand sio noma mwalimu. Hii nitakuja niseme ati ni why, ni mwanafunzi tu mmoja tu ameweza expand. Kwa nini sasa? Hata Damaris anaweza expand. Thank you very much. Nitakuja niseme ni why first upper limit. The upper limit will be 1100. Of course, that one I don't change at all. Minus the total time of the first. If you look at this thing very well, these guys have cut. Wameweza kuhesabu from 501, wamekata. Ukiangalia vizuri kwa ile macho undani. Ukiangalia vizuri kwa ile macho undani, you'll be able to see that wamecut at exactly 500. So minus Y what here? First 500. Useme hapa kama Getonga amesema minus 501. Sio minus 501. Minus 501 ndio umetupa mbao. Because 501 is in the good range. It's from 501 moving forward. It's 501 moving forward, right? Right? So if that is the case, then please come and plug it. Please come and put the A out. A is applicable to both. So we will say 10 into the quantity here, 1100 raised to 0.585 minus 500 raised to 0.585, like that. What figure are we getting? Somebody there? I'm putting, you can decide to calculate them separately, but we prefer putting A out. We prefer putting A out. We prefer putting A out. So 10 times, open brackets like that. Ulipatie figure, jameni. I know it's a little bit heavy, but utaikamata sana. It's a little bit heavy, utaikamata sana. So, wanasema ni 2. Wanasema ni 2 like that. Ebu sasa wewe nifanyie ya mwisho, nifanyie time ya Kenya Navy. Ebu nifanyie time ya Kenya Navy. Ebu nifanyie time ya Kenya Navy. Nifanyie time ya Kenya Navy. Kenya Navy ndio hii hapa. Umeona range? Kenya Navy ndio hii hapa. Time ya Kenya Navy. Hebu nifanyie time ya Kenya Navy. Nifanyie time ya Kenya Navy. Very good. So time ya Kenya Navy. Thank you very much, Gilbert. Thank you very much, Gilbert. Damaris amepata hata answer. Branis Mengesa ameshapata answer. 200 something. Nataka kujua kama kila mwanafunzi amepata hiyo answer. Nataka kuona kama kila mwanafunzi amepata hiyo answer. Ndio niwaambie the next course of action itakuwa ni gani. Next course of action itakuwa ni gani. Karanja hakuna stability. Hakuna stability kwa hii question. Hakuna mara wamesema tuna stabilize Karanja. Tena Kenya tumeanza kujenga 2 guns juzi na bullet juzi. So hatujafika kustabilize bado. Tulianza juzi. Aki wengi wamepata usingizi. Asante sana Juma. Juma doesn't disappoint. Huawei amepata 200.82. So I think kila mwanafunzi amepata correct. Sababu kitu wamesema hapa ni hivi. Ni Y1101 all the way to 1800. Then this one here has to be expanded out a little bit. Itakuwa ni Y first 1800 minus Y first 1100. Kwa hivyo itakuja ikuwe weka A nje. So kiweka A nje itakuwa ni 10 into 1800 raised to 0.585 minus 1100 raised to 0.585. Unakuja unipatia answer. Ambao wameniambia 200. So unajua sasa hizi ni hours. So kama wangetaka kujua labor cost, they'll give you, for example, like each hour cost 10 bob. And really, that is the major concept in this question. This is the major concept in this question. I'm not seeing any problem here, Faith. Wanakuambia, July, they made how many batches? 1. August, how many batches? 1. September, how many batches? 2. Very easy. So please come and mention there the batches that we have. What do we have there? The batches that we have. It's a very interesting question. Unfortunately, you happen to be having the answer to this. Very interesting question. So we have July. We have August, we have September, we have October, we have November. So like that. So this is 1, 1, 2, 4, 8. Thank you. So come and give us cumulative. So cumulative produced. So this is 1. This becomes what here? 2. This gives us 4. This gives us 8. This gives us 16, right? So go ahead and give us ranges. Give us ranges. Give us ranges. Right? Give us ranges. So ranges, of course, what we have here. This one here, there is really, this is the first one. See, this is 1, right? This is 1. 0 to 1. How about the second one? How about the second one? The second one, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the second one, you know, we are going to begin from the next number after 1. The next number after 1 is 2, but we are going to the upper limit, which is what here? 2. So basically, this one here, we shall be calculating y of the second unit. This will be y of the first unit. So call it just first one like that. Now, out of this, here you'll begin from 3 all the way to the upper limit, which is 4, right? This will be 5 all the way to 8. This will be 9 all the way to what here, somebody? 16. And have these guys given you A? Have they given you A? Have they given you A? Do we have A? A, the time taken to make the first unit. The time taken to make the first unit, 200. Right? Have they given me B? Please round off the B to 2 decimal places if possible. Just for revision, of course, in an exam, you have to pick it the way it is. But for our class here, what is the value of B? Great. So B plus 1. And then now the thing that challenged so many students in this question, unlike the one that I've done of Kenya Navy, Kenya Army, Kenya Air Force, this one, in the month of October, there is stabilization. It will reach a time where you can no longer use what here, somebody? You can no longer use the learning curve equation. I would be very interested to see how you're going to unravel the mystery behind the stabilization of this. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure hosting you tonight. I look forward to meeting you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Of course, tomorrow during the day. Tomorrow during the day. Tomorrow during the day.